to talk about perspective. Good morning, Tomlin Middle School art classes. Today we're going to be talking about perspective. So I've already given you a historical lesson on perspective and all the people who influenced perspective and kind of devised mathematical, scientific, architectural, different resources through the use of perspective, and kind of was able to narrow it down to essentially a few sets of rules and a couple of guidelines that help artists take three-dimensional products and paint them on a two-dimensional canvas. That was what last Tuesday's video was all about. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it today or soon so that you can be better informed and then take the quiz that I had set up on Wednesday. So let me get into it, and I got a lot of cool things to show you, and hope you enjoy. Now when it comes to perspective, it's all really about viewpoints. Where is the person who is going to be making the painting or drawing located in perspective to the subject? So for example, I would be the subject in this frame right now, and obviously my shoe isn't that big in real life. I'd be like a size 20 or something. And my head would look like a tiny little baseball if it was this size. Now, back in the 13th, 12th century, when classical artists were creating different portraits and such, they really had a hard time trying to convey that information. So Leonardo da Vinci created those mechanisms, the perspectograph, in order to create a better and easier way to taking three-dimensional items and putting them on a two-dimensional canvas. Now there are ways to manipulate perspective to make it look like objects are smaller than what they really appear or larger than they really appear. And that's really, like I said again, dependent on the point of view from the artist to the object or subject matter. So for example, this little tree here, my little desert rose, is not that big. It's not really the height of my waist here or so. It's actually really small, but because I'm so much further away from the camera than the desert rose is, it appears to be almost this big. Now, you guys are very influenced by video and TV, so a lot of you guys can pick up on this right away. But really, this is a tiny little plant. Now, each of my classes is about to assign a different project based on either landscape or perspective. Now, landscape artists, perspective is also going to be used within your painting or drawing or project. So it's good to kind of know this information as well. So I'm going to go over the different types of perspective and the different types of rules that are associated with perspective and a lot of the different key concepts that make perspective possible. Now there's a few different rules to remember when making a perspective drawing or painting as well as landscape. You have to include perspective in some sort of form in order for a landscape drawing to kind of make any sense. Otherwise, everything's all skewed and messed up and you don't really understand really what the sizes of things are. Now, just like John Constable in the landscape history I provided, he did like these grand scale images with these giant trees and big fluffy clouds and stuff. Now, if he didn't have the right proportions and sizes and scale, everything would all look messed up. So some of those different things that you need to look out for are, for example, one is vanishing point, which we'll talk about in a moment. We'll talk about all these in a moment. Two is going to be converging lines. And then three is going to be your horizon line. And there's no better way to show all those things than to bring it to the air. All right, guys, so I have my drone up and running. So let me give you a reference point. I'm about 5'6", so this is what I look like at this point of view. Now let's toss a horizon line in the background to see where the sky meets the ground. It's approximately where it's at. It actually should be a little bit higher. And then let's toss in those converging lines to see where I am in perspective to the horizon line. Okay, now let's toss them both in together to see that vanishing point and where all the lines converge to the back. So now we have an idea of that point. So let's kind of move the drone back a little bit and see what I look like from further away. So last time I checked, I haven't grown at all, so let me give you another reference. That's 5'6", still there. And let's put the horizon line in the background and see what that looks like along with the converging lines. Converging lines are a little wonky. The drone has a little bit of wind coming at it, so give you guys a quick wave just so you know where I'm still standing. Now let's bring the drone to a different location and see what it looks like when I move the horizon line a little differently. So let's put the point of perspective so that the artist is a little bit higher up. 5'6" still. And here is the horizon line in the background. Again, I got a little bit of wind, so the line is a little sideways. Now let's see what all the converging lines and the vanishing point looks like. Now you can see how the lines line up with the road. Now let's check it out with a little bit higher of a viewpoint as well as a little further away. So here I am still in the middle of the street, same location, haven't grown at all. But check out how the horizon line has started to move a little differently now. And those are the converging lines as well. Now, if you continue, I'm going to kind of fly around here for a second and try to find another spot here where I can show you how the horizon line can move a lot further up into the skyline. So here we have the horizon line way off in the distance, pretty far up, and our converging lines and how the streets all conform to those converging lines. Now imagine if there was a city there. This is kind of how it would look. Now as I fly around, I'm going to just take a look at some other spots. I also want to let you know, feel free to pause this at any point to kind of get a better reference of where all these converging lines, the vanishing points, and the horizon line lay. So let's bring the drone down just a little bit and let's kind of imagine that we're looking down from the top of a city from a point where you don't have a horizon line. So here I am. Let me just put a little circle around myself to kind of give you an idea where I'm located. So there's the bird's eye view. And I'm going to put all the converging lines around me just like this to kind of give you an idea. And if I was down in the middle of a city, it would kind of look like this. So there you go. That's how you use the horizon line, converging lines, as well as the vanishing point all together in a bunch of different viewpoints.
All right, guys, thanks for watching my movie. I hope it was really helpful for you guys. Now, when it comes to what are we doing next, right? So this weekend, my 2D1 and 2D2 students, I want you to kind of start conforming the different ideas in your mind for your landscape and three-point perspective drawings. Now, my visual arts students, we're going to be working on each type of perspective throughout the upcoming weeks. So this weekend, I would like you to try to make a one-point perspective drawing based on the information that I provided for you today. Going back to 2D1 and 2D2 students, I'm going to continue to give you demos specifically on how to refine each of your different projects. This is kind of just a generalized video to show you all the different things to make perspective possible and how you can use these tools in your drawings or paintings or projects in general. So keep posted every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going to do a demo to help you refine your project and how to make it into something way beautiful, way awesome, way cool. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget about tomorrow. We're going to be doing our Zoom lunch session. I might break it up into groups because a lot of students asked if we could have it broke up into different class groups. So stay posted, check out Edsby, and I can't wait to see you soon. So, for example, my head is clearly not, no, let me do that. And making your, had it very far back when I could remember what I was trying to say. Architectural, Thank you.